Private money lenders. Who are they and how do you get their money? I talk about private money lenders all of the time when I tell you guys to use OPM to buy more real estate. OPM stands for other people's money, and these people are your private money lenders. These are your friends and your family who have money that want to give it to you. Now, can people who don't have money lend you money? The answer is yes, and that's a little bit more complicated, but that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Hey guys, welcome to the Hoan Zone, where we help you multiply the assets you own. I'm Hoan and I've been investing for the last 10 years using OPM and using private money lenders. So a private money lender is just a person who knows you, who has money, and who wants to lend it to you. This could be your friends, your family, your coworkers, your neighbors, your boss, your ex-boss, whoever it may be. It's just a person who has money who wants to lend it to you so that you can use that money to go buy real estate. The question though is, why the heck would they want to lend you any money? Well, the answer is simple. For the money. You see, when you borrow their money, they are now acting as the bank, and they are going to get interest on their money. So they're having their money work hard for them. The other reason they might lend you the money is because they want to live vicariously through you. They've always wanted to be a real estate investor, but their job doesn't allow them to be a real estate investor because of the time commitment, or their spouse just thinks it's too risky, so they never allowed their spouse to do it. So now they're lending you the money because they want to be a part of your journey. They want to see the deal, they want to see it transform, and they want to see you get paid at the end. And that way, because they gave you the money, they're like living through you. They're like, oh yes, I'm a real estate investor, even though you were actually the real estate investor and they were the lender. I tell my private money lenders that if they want to come to my job site anytime they want, let me know and I will go there with them. I'll show them every aspect of the job so that they feel like they are part of the project. Now, the real question is, why do they want to give you the money and then the money and to live vicariously? Like, how does that all work? And also, where is that money coming from? So let's get to the first part. Why are they giving you the money? Because they believe that you're going to give them the money back with interest. You need to demonstrate that their money is better off in your hands to grow than their own hands. You want it to make it so that they want to lend you the money versus them trying to make that money grow themselves. So by giving them that confidence, they'll give you the money, you go grow it, and then you pay them back with interest. How do you do that? By having a plan. My plan looks like this. I'm going to use your money to buy the property and fix up the property. And then once I'm done, I'm going to rent the property out, and then I'm going to go to a bank and refinance and pay you off. In addition to that, I might say something like, I typically buy properties that are $100,000 to $200,000. I rehab them for $20,000 to $80,000. And then when I'm all done, they're typically worth $300,000 to $400,000. And then I'm going to rent them out and refinance them. So I go into a little bit more detail with them. And then if they want more details, I go into it with them then. But I give them the high level overview so that they don't get too confused. But they do see that I have a plan. And if you're a seasoned investor, you can say, well, what I have done is this. If you're not a seasoned investor and you don't have any history, again, you can say, what I plan to do is buy properties that are worth $100,000. I'm going to fix them up for $50,000. We're going to be all in for $150,000, but typically the value is going to be $250,000 when we're all done. So I'm going to be able to pay you back because the bank is going to give me a loan on the $250,000, and that's going to be more than enough to pay you back. Again, it's a plan in place to get them paid back. So now the next question is, where is this money coming from? Do they just have a whole bunch of cash sitting there and waiting to lend to you? The answer is maybe. I don't know. I don't know who your friends are. Maybe they do. Maybe their checking account is just flush with cash and they're like, hey, I have a whole bunch of money. I want to lend it to you. Maybe that's the case. But more often than not, people don't have their money in their checking accounts. They have it in retirement accounts. So if your lender has a whole bunch of money in retirement accounts, let's explore the retirement accounts that they have. If a person has a 401k at the job that they're still working at, then there are some limitations. One of those limitations is that they can only borrow $50,000 or 50% of what's in that 401k, whichever one is less, $50,000 or 50%. An example would be if the person had $80,000 in their 401k, then the max that you can borrow from that 401k is $40,000 because that is 50% of the $80,000, which is less than $50,000. Now, if the person has, say, $150,000 in their 401k, then the max loan that you can borrow is $50,000 because 50% would be $75,000. So $50,000 is the lower of the two. So $50,000 if they had $150,000 in there, or $40,000 if they only had $80,000 in there. Now, if they had a 401k from a job that they no longer work at, then we're in business, because what you can do is take their 401k from that old job and you can roll it into something called a self-directed IRA. So with this self-directed IRA, you can roll all of the money in there, and then from their IRA, they can self-direct it and lend it to you. And that is going to be their investment, their IRA's investment. And here's the cool part. They can lend 100% of that IRA to you as the investment. It's not a loan against the IRA. It is the IRA investing in you, in that loan. In order to make this work, you're going to have to contact the old 401k company, and then you're also going to have to contact a custodian to set up the self-directed IRA. You're going to call the 401k company and tell them to please send the money over to the custodian who set up the self-directed IRA. And then from there, the IRA can lend you the money. Compared to when the person had the 401k, what they're doing is they themselves are borrowing the money from their 401k. And then the person is lending it to you. Here with the IRA is lending it directly to you, so the IRA can lend 100% of it. Versus in the 401k setting, the owner of the 401k could only borrow $50,000 or 50%. So a little confusing. Rewind if you have to, but very important stuff. The other place that people often have their money is in a life insurance policy. If they have a permanent life insurance policy, not a term where it's just death benefit, but if they had a permanent life insurance policy, like a whole life policy or a universal index life policy, something like that, that has cash value in it. That cash value can be taken out and lent to you. If you guys are interested in learning more about these permanent life insurance policies with cash value, email me, hoan@hoanzone.com, because I can also provide you guys with these kinds of policies. I have these policies because it's an amazing place to put your money. And when the right time comes, you're able to take that money that you put into your life insurance policy and deploy it towards investing. Another popular way that people can lend you money is by using their HELOC, a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit is a line of credit against the equity of your home. And these home equity lines of credit are typically hundreds of thousands of dollars. So people will have access to this money that they can then use to lend to you. Finally, some people have some annuities in place. Now, if you want them to liquidate the annuity, there's going to be a penalty, but sometimes borrowing the money and paying the penalty is cheaper than going other routes, like maybe a hard money lender. So sometimes it's cheaper to just pay the penalty and the interest that the lender charges if you have them liquidate the annuity, and as you're paying them back an interest rate, it could be higher than what the annuity was paying them. So it's a win-win situation. Now, I just covered a handful of sources of money, but there are many, many more. The most important part of this whole entire thing is that you are helping people become lenders. These people who are your friends and your family, they didn't intend to become your private money lender. What you're going to have to do is show them how to become your private money lender. You're going to have to introduce the idea to them. You're going to have to teach them how it works. And then you're going to have to make them feel secure that when they lend you the money, you're going to pay them back, because you're going to have a solid plan. And if you don't have a solid plan, please, please, please do not borrow their money, because the last thing I want you to do is lose their money. Real estate may seem like a get rich quick or get rich for sure kind of plan, but there are things that can go wrong, and if you don't know what you're doing, you could lose their money. That would be a very awkward Thanksgiving dinner. There are also a lot of documents that are needed in order to execute on these loans, so it's important you know what you're doing. If you guys would like to learn all about how to borrow their money, borrow it correctly, and borrow it securely, then check out my new program. It is the Rental Property Multiplier Academy. In this program, I'm going to show you guys what are all the different sources of private money so that you have more capital than you know what to do with. You're going to have all of this money available to you so that no matter what deal comes your way, you'll be able to take it down as long as it's a deal. In this program, I'm going to show you all of the documents you need, how to talk to your lenders, how to execute on these loans so that you can multiply the assets you own. The coolest part is you're going to have lifetime access to this program. So as long as you're in the program, you will be able to gain support whenever you need it, because you might meet somebody 6 months from now, 2 years from now, who knows, and you'll still be able to ask about how to help them become your lender. You also might come across a deal months later or years later that you're going to need help with. Either way, you're going to have the support while you're in the program. If that sounds interesting, if you want to be part of the Rental Property Multiplier Academy, email me, hoan@hoanzone.com. All right, guys, your homework, go out there, go talk to people, go tell them what you do, and go find yourself some private money lenders. As always, I'm Hoan Tai. Let's multiply.